My name is Aulia Sylvani. My student number is 182. Today I'm going to present you about Beatrix Kiss's journal, and the title is Elimination of Gender Equality in Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. So, for the abstract of this journal presents the purpose of the study in the abstract. It delivered in the abstract in a brief and clear explanation. This paper explores the elimination of equality in the Handmaid's Tale in four areas called the four Ds, which includes distinction, dependence, division, and also dominance. And for the title of the story, as you have already known, as the title, it explains a bit about the study of the Handmaid's Tale, where it shows an inequality between gender, which makes it informative. In this case, in this story, it involves the character's man, which is the commander, and the character's woman. The majority mentioned of the woman character is the handmaid. And for the references, this journal gives some old release journals around 90s and some recent journals. However, both journal gives an explanation and description about 4D's element within gender. Therefore, it completes the analyzing activity. And for the introduction and background, it explained the reader about the meaning of gender equality, which lead us, as the reader, to understand the fundamental concept of it. The article mentioned, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, gender equality means the act of treating women and men equally, asking whether equality is measured by opportunity or outcome, whether biological differences determine equality status, and whether women need to adopt masculine norms to achieve equality, from Pilcher and Wellington 2004. All of these questions that I've mentioned based on the uh, citation on Pilcher and Wellington 2004 are raised in the Outwoods novel. And the best known issue in The Handmaid's Tale is woman's oppression by the subordination to the new patriarchal society built by the commanders. The subordination is justified on the basis of the problem of human infertility in Gilead. And Gilead is the name of the state in the story. So it's just like a brief outline of the story. And gender stereotypes have been negotiated between society and literature for centuries. Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale shows the exchange in action in the story. By recognizing the aim, the meaning, and also the outline of the story, it means that the journal gives a clear outline in the introduction section. And for the method, in this part, the author did not actually put the method used directly in the journal, but based on the aim of the study, which is to examine the and analyze the small steps leading to elimination of gender equality in Geledian society, and mention it based on what the authors posit about for this concept, which uh, this for these are distinction, this dependence, division, and dominance. Also, based on the result provided, it showed a qualitative result, even though the other is not actually put the method directly, but we can tell that it shows a qualitative result. From there, it gives an explanation about the tragedies happen in the story and categorize it into four concepts. Then it examines based on some references meaning about the concept and gives more explanation on each concept with the story. However, there is no further explanation about why the author proceeded for this concept. Regardless, the 4D's concept could be the points or summary, if I can tell, of the reasons about inequality between gender in the Handmaid's Tale story. And for the results showed and described the 4D's concept in detail and related with the action happened in the story. It shows an appropriate style of result. Also, it gives a clear meaning and proves, as I will explain it to you in the next slide later. And the data or references presented here also reliable and correlated to the subdivision of for this concept. It do not give any repetition or redundant sentence, not only sentence, but also the preference that use for the meaning, which makes it categorized clearly. The practically meaningful result is also clear since in every element of 4Ds, always proven by the action or tragedy in the story, which again based on the action of the gender inequality in the story. And for the result of the 4Ds concept, the first one is distinction. Distinction takes various forms in the novel, but the key that joins them is the body as nature, the body as socially constructed, and embodiment. In the story, these approaches show clearly that biological differences need not preclude gender equality, and they make it undeniable that the commander's plan was not just to save society from extinction, but also to recreate covertly a strong patriarchy where women are dependent on men. Next to the biological differentiation, there is also the social construction of the body. Instead of emphasizing the similarities between sexes to bridge their inequality, the novel negates these similarities. And for the second is dependence. What makes the dependence in Atwood's novel into a totalitarian plan to eliminate equality is that women are restricted to the private sphere once again, which become the legal territory of the commanders, where women exist only to be exploited in every aspect of life as follows: sexually, biologically, economically, and emotionally. Women have no area in their lives where men are not their superiors and where they are not told what to do or be. And for the third point is the vision. The novel thus operationalized the idea of the panopticon. We can distinguish the wives, the Marthas, the handmaids, the Jezebels, and the econowives, all of whom have their own function. For example, the garden is the domain of the commander's wife. Many of the wives have such gardens. It's something for them, the order to maintain and care for. The Marthas, meanwhile, are responsible for the household chores, the cooking and cleaning, and the handmaids have but one job: to give birth to the commander's children. And for the fourth point, which is the dominance, subsequent to the physical dominance, which gives the commanders and other leaders of Jalid the power to seize women's property, the oppression evolves into dominance over the thoughts of women, especially in this case of the handmaids by brainwashing them, making them believe that this condition is good for them and that suffering is for their benefit. The mind and the body fall victim to totalitarian oppression. For the discussion and conclusion, this conclusion gives the reader a result based on the reliable multiple angles or references that support the result or the analysis of the tragedy in the story. The journal anatomized the elimination of gender equality in four steps, starting from the overemphasis on the biological differences between men and women, continuing to the recreation of female financial dependence on men, through the division on women's function and powers, and ultimately to a dominance so comprehensive that women would lack the will to contemplate independence as the new slowly become the ordinary. The purpose of for this comprise the intervening ways, overlapping areas that lead to the elimination of gender equality. Overall, the conclusion answers the aim of the study. It examines the four these steps through the story. The conclusion also supported by the references and the result as mentioned. Limitation in this journal is connected to the history of gender equality. The historical struggle indirectly occupies in this article for gender equality. It arises only in connection with the mirroring effect Atwood uses in this novel. Therefore, it only presents the story based on the novel and not analyze it with the historical aspect in the real life. Overall, the study is interesting for me since it discusses about gender equality and related with a novel which describes the action of gender equality itself. The study also has an appropriate style to answer the aim of the study. It gives a sequence clear in a part of understanding and clear division of subchapters of each subchapters. The study also has a uniqueness on showing the reader on oft analyzing novel. Oft analyzing novels is a novel that is oftenly analyzed. Nevertheless, the author gives a new steps on analyzing it with the fourth this concept. As for the shortcomings, the study mentioned many analyses about 4Ds in gender equality as the references, which makes the explanation is not really narrow inside of meaning. Also, the study often mentioned about one figure in the story. She is Aunt Lydia, and actually, I admire her so much. Just read from the journal. I can tell you that I admire Aunt Lydia so much since Aunt Lydia gives an image of a strong and smart woman. She often reminds and motivates the handmaids to resist gender equality. However, it never explains more about its continuity. Therefore, it is really unfortunate for me personally. So thank you. That's all for me, and I hope you get the point of what I present. Thank you. Bye. Stay healthy.